All right, let's get right into it. Today we're going to explore a really powerful idea, one that kicks off with a huge question. In a world that talks so much about freedom, how much of it do we really have?
You know, we're all told we're free, right? But is it really that simple? Let's flip this on its head for a second. What if the freedom we think we have is, well, just the tip of the iceberg of a much more controlled reality? And that question leads us straight into our first big idea, this notion that our modern sense of freedom might not be what we think it is, that maybe it's more of an illusion, something managed by a system we can't even see. So what is this system? The source material gives it a name, the matrix of power. Think of it like this invisible web, right? A web of financial and digital control that's quietly shaping our lives, our choices, pretty much everything. And the crazy part, most of us don't even know it's there.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. This whole system, it's not new. Not at all. To really get what's happening today, we've got to jump in a time machine and look at how this whole thing got started.
So this timeline really tells a story of a massive shift. The source lays it out like this. You had the Vedic era, which was all about prosperity spread out among the people, guided by ethics, or dharma. Then, bam, the East India Company arrives, and the game completely changes. Suddenly it's all about conquest and control. Power starts getting sucked up into the hands of just a few people.
And what this really boiled down to was a huge clash of mindsets. On one side, you had this idea of dharma, an ethical strategy, but on the other side, a completely different playbook, one based on what the source just calls loot and deceit. Two totally opposite ways of seeing the world.
Okay, so this is the real kicker. The central argument here is that old company, that old playbook, it never actually went away. It just evolved. It put on a new suit. The East India Company of the past has become something much bigger, much more subtle in our modern world.
First up, we have a name you've probably heard, BlackRock, one of the biggest asset managers on the planet.
Right alongside it is its massive counterpart, Vanguard, another absolute giant in the investment world.
And rounding out this powerful trio is State Street, another global financial heavyweight.
So why should you care about these three companies? Get this. According to the source, together they are the biggest shareholders in, wait for it, 90% of the S&P 500. We're talking about almost all of the biggest, most powerful companies in the world. That's a level of concentrated influence that is just staggering.
The source calls the people running these firms the shadow kings of our time. And the argument is they use these big global stories, things like climate change, to push systems like carbon credits. Now, what's the end game? The source claims it's all about digitizing and controlling every physical resource on the planet. Your land, your water, everything. All brought under one centralized financial umbrella.
You know, it's natural to want to join this system, right? It looks like the path to safety, to success. But the source has a name for this, the golden cage. It's this beautiful, shiny cage that feels safe, but you're still trapped. You're a gear in their machine, not a partner at the table. You're useful only as long as you serve the goals of the matrix.
Okay, so that's the problem. It sounds pretty bleak, right? But here's the good news. The source doesn't just leave us there. It actually points to a way out, a blueprint for real freedom, inspired by historical figures like the incredible 15th century visionary Sankardev.
And what Sankardev showed is just genius. He basically proved that true power doesn't trickle down from some central bank. No way. It grows from the ground up, in communities that can take care of themselves. His model, the Namgar, wasn't just a building. It was the heart of the community, spiritually, socially, and economically. And it was completely independent. No elite control needed.
So, the big question is, how do we take that powerful idea and use it today? Well, let's get into the practical stuff. The playbook for what the source calls economic swaraj, which basically means total economic freedom.
To actually pull this off, to navigate this matrix and get your freedom back, you can't just stumble through it. The source says you have to become a strategic warrior, and that means living by 3 core rules.
All right, rule number 1, use their tools but never lose your soul. What does that mean? It means you've got to learn their game, understand finance, tech, AI, all of it. Use those very tools to build your own wealth, your own independence. Basically, take their money, but never ever let them have your values. Next up, rule number 2, the Trojan horse. So if you find yourself working inside the beast, don't just be a cog,
Be a spy. Learn everything you can, figure out how it all works from the inside so you can help your own community build something better. But, and this is a huge but, be careful. The source warns that the power, the luxury, it's like a drug. It's specifically designed to make you forget why you went in there in the first place.
And that leads us perfectly into the final and maybe most important rule. Build your exit plan. This chart says it all, really. It's about a strategic shift. You move away from the things the Matrix can control, like purely digital money or centralized digital IDs, and you move towards real, tangible assets they can't touch. We're talking physical land, physical gold, and real-world skills, things that give you genuine independence.
So, when you put it all together, this isn't just about saving yourself. Your new job description, so to speak, isn't just to get a paycheck. It's to become a guardian, a protector for the 99% of people who have no idea this game is even being played. Your mission is to help wake people up, but you have to be smart about it. Fly under the radar.
And really, it all boils down to this one powerful idea. You don't win this fight by ignoring the system or just getting angry at it. You win by understanding it, inside and out, maybe even better than the people who built it.
So, we want to leave you with a real challenge to think about, a practical first step. If this is a battle of knowledge, what's the first technical weapon you can learn? What's that one skill you can pick up right now to start building a defense for yourself and your community against this kind of digital control? What's your first move?
Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with everyone. Thank you.